Hey folks, the August job numbers for the United States are out and they are not good. They're not good at all. 22,000 jobs were added into the economy compared to the 78,000 that were projected by economists. And so these numbers are bad. Yeah, it's bad, very bad news. And obviously, you found the reaction from leftist media who are celebrating this with the I told you so mentality that Trump's policies are bad, they're going to destroy the American economy. And then you find a more muted response from the side of Fox News, who is giving the Trump administration the benefit of the doubt, trying to get them to actually try to spin the numbers. I find that both of the responses have not really been very helpful, I think, and they contribute to the lack of trust between the American people and the media. What I would say to you is that I don't like to lie to people because I don't like people lying to me. And because of that, in the interest of not lying to you, because I want our relationship to be built on trust, is that I would say, yeah, this is not good. This is not good. And in a sense, there is no way of really spinning it. And I think I'm surprised that though that the impact has not been more because of how widespread the Trump tariffs have been in terms of the number of countries that are affected by it. Eventually, something was going to give. So um, there is there is an impact. There has been an impact on manufacturing in the United States. Manufacturing jobs are down by close to 80,000, mainly because manufacturers in the US have stopped hiring, and in some instances they've paused their production because the parts that they use for the stuff that they are manufacturing comes from Europe, and they are a bit skittish about what's going to happen. I've spoken to quite a few people who are running manufacturing plants in Ohio. Some are in Texas and Florida, which is there's a lot of especially advanced manufacturing that happens in Florida. I've spoken to some friends there who are working in manufacturing, and most of them are mechanical, industrial, and chemical engineers. I've spoken to some friends who are in Ohio as well. They've given me a picture that there's been a bit of a pause in terms of hiring from most of companies because they are a bit apprehensive about what's going to happen, and they don't want to commit themselves into hiring people while they don't know what will happen to the prices from where they buy their components and parts. So, but what I would say with regards to that is that the question that has to be asked is this a good policy on the side of Trump in terms of long term, 20 years, 40 years, 60 years from now? And the answer is no. And the second question that needs to be asked is that will Americans feel some pain in the meantime? And the answer is that yes, there will be some pain. It's just difficult to say the extent of the pain. And the question is the pain worth it? Like factoring in terms of what it is that President Trump is working on and is trying to accomplish. And I'd say yes, the pain is most definitely worth it. And we're going to have to stop looking in terms of short term things like quarterly results or even annual results or even biannual results. And we need to start to look at things like where will the United States of America be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now? You are competing with people who have longer time frames than you, who are not concerned about pleasing a left wing media, which will never be pleased by you, who will never be satisfied by you, regardless of what you do. But at some stage, I think it's very important for Donald John Trump to level with Americans and to tell them this is what's happening. You will feel some pain. And the pain is expected to be short term to medium term. And to say, join me on this long term project to save America. And this long term project will come with some pain. Or some of it might be that maybe America needs to start considering government subsidies, just as how China, India, Singapore, Vietnam, Japan, South Korea are doing so. So, because in order for you to cushion the American people from the pain of the tariffs, you might have to consider doing the issue of subsidies. But lying to the American people is not an option. And at the end of the day, I'm so frustrated with Democrats because it doesn't really matter who the president is or whether it's Republicans or Democrats. Asia is destroying this country. And you need to make a choice. Americans need to make a choice. Americans of both parties, of both ideological stances, of the entire full spectrum of ideologies, need to make up their mind in terms of where do they want America to be 50 years from now. Do you want to be second to China, yes or no? Do you want to be second to China and India, yes or no? Do you want good paying jobs to return to America, yes or no? And if that's the case, then there are sacrifices that will have to be made in the meantime. And some of those sacrifices will be some short term pain. And the high partisan level of how things are discussed in America makes discussing important things like this not possible. But this is something that shouldn't be partisan because it lies at the heart of the future of America. You need to forget about Europe. Europe conceded their manufacturing to Asia a long time ago. Europe has admitted to being number two to Asia. They are seemingly okay with that. And Europe they're not going anywhere very fast. And the question is that what you want for America as well? And if that's not the case, then both parties need to stand behind the America First, bring back manufacturing jobs policies. This is literally life and death. That is how important these policies are. And the media also needs to decide, do they want America to succeed, yes or no? Do they want America to continue to be the premier industrial power in the world, yes or no? And if the answer is yes, then they need to check their Trump derangement syndrome. At the end of the day, President Trump is going to leave office in 2028, and America needs to grapple with the issue of where America is when it comes to manufacturing and advanced manufacturing, chip making, all of those things going into the next 60 to 100 years. And the way that American media behave, it is as if they want America to lose. American media needs to decide whose side they are on. Seriously speaking, they need to decide whose side they are on. But yes, there will be some pain. I expect that the Federal Reserve maybe will cut the interest rates this month, and we will see a better jobs market coming out from maybe October, because it won't be fast enough to see a improved performance for October. But I do see that if they cut enough in terms of interest rates, we might see good numbers of job numbers by around November going, and Americans could actually have a very good Christmas. And that's the most important thing, because if Americans have a bad Christmas, doesn't matter how important these policies are, they will vote Republicans out of power in 2026. And that will be a crisis. And quite frankly, I don't care who is in power, as long as the person who is in power is puts in place America First policies. That's really the summation of this. Cheers, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments below.